Hi friends, today we are going to discuss a very important topic, microbes in sewage treatment. Okay, so what is the role of microbes in sewage treatment and how microbes are used in biogas production is the topic what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so microbes in sewage treatment. Okay, so how the sewage is being treated with the help of microbes. The municipal wastewater including human excreta is known as what? Sewage. So what do you mean by sewage? The wastewater. In that wastewater the human excreta is also included. So that the domestic waste along with the human excreta, all those wastewater we call it as what? We call it as sewage. Okay. It contains a large amount of organic matter. Along with that you can find many microbes are also present where? In the sewage. Okay. And most of these microbes are pathogenic. Pathogenic means what? They are causing many different types of diseases. Okay, so it has to be treated. Okay, so just like that you cannot discharge it into the water bodies like in the rivers. You cannot discharge it. In order to prevent the discharge like this, they introduced Ganga action plan, Yamuna action plan, in which sewage treatment plants are installed near the where the discharge of water is taking place, so that the wastewater is treated before it is discharged into these holy rivers. Okay, so that is regarding sewage. Okay, now so hence the sewage is what they are treated. Where it is treated? It is treated in sewage treatment plant. Okay, so why it is treated? In order to make it less polluting. Okay, it's not going to cause much pollution. We cannot treat it and make it totally free from all sort of materials, but to some extent we can reduce the pollution. Okay, so treatment of wastewater is done by a numerous amount of heterotrophic microbes. So with the help of microbes only I am going to treat this, and these microbes I need not make and introduce it. It is already present where? In the sewage. Okay, so this sewage treatment is carried out in two steps. Okay, so there are two stages in carrying out this sewage treatment. The first step is primary treatment. Okay, so it involves physical removal. Okay, we are not going to add anything, just by some physical process we are going to remove the particles. Okay, so the particles can be large or can be small. We are going to just see to it that we are going to removing these particles. How? Listen, initially floating debris, so the things which are floating, okay, so that can be removed with the help of what? Filtration, like filter papers. Okay, so filter papers, when you are seeing, the filter papers are kept and the water is poured into it, so the means the particles somewhat larger in size, which can be trapped by whom? These filter papers, isn't it? So with the help of sequential filtration, here YMS is used as a filters, wherein the substances are somewhat bigger in size are getting trapped. Okay, they cannot move. Thereafter there can be some soil particles which is moving, or there can be some particles which has passed through the filter papers, but that can also be prevented, means that can also be treated. How we are doing it? By a process called as sedimentation. We are allowing the material, means the filtered water, to settle down for some time. That process we call it as what? Sedimentation. So in this sedimentation, when you are seeing, the sedimentation has taken place, so some particles will be slowly settling down. Okay, the solids that are settling down we call it as primary sludge. So what do we call them? The primary sludge. And the water which is collected on the top we call it as what? The supernatant. Okay, the effluent from this primary settling tank is passed on to the secondary treatment. I repeat, solids that are settling down we call it as the primary sludge. Okay, what do we call them? Primary sludge. And the supernatant we call it as what? The effluents. Okay, so that effluent is only transferred to what? The secondary treatment. For the secondary treatment, what is going? The effluent is going. Okay, now you can see this diagram. Okay, so in this diagram you can find the raw sewage is coming. Okay, so this is regarding the primary treatment and this one is the secondary treatment. Okay, so this is the primary treatment and this is the secondary treatment. So in the primary treatment, what is happening? You can find these filters. So these filters, what they are doing is that they are filtering the bigger in sizes. Okay, this is just a diagrammatic representation. So you can find they are filtering the particles which can be trapped by the filters of being trapped, the rest of the part is moving here. From there it is passed into which one? It is passed into the settling tank. So here you can find the grit, small pebbles, soil particles which and all was not collected by these filters are being settling down. Here what is happening? They are getting settled down. The settled down particle we call it as what? Activated sludge. We call it as activated primary sludge. Okay, and the top one, which one is present, that one we call it as effluent. Okay, so this effluent is only moving into the secondary treatment. So what is moving into the secondary treatment? The secondary treatment is the effluent. Okay, yes. So now when you are seeing what is the secondary treatment of or biological treatment, why do we call this one as biological treatment? Because here we are going to use microbes in treating the waste. Okay, so the primary effluent I have already told you, it is moving into what? The secondary treatment. In the secondary treatment, first it is moving into aeration tank, where it is moving into aeration tank. What do you mean by aeration tank? Aeration tank is a tank in which constant air is being supplied. It is agitated, mixing of air is taking place. Okay, so when the air is getting mixed up, the air is pumped into, there are lot of aerobic microbes which are present along with this organic matter, the waste. Okay, so what is this doing is that these aerobic microbes starts to grow very much high. Why? Before there were oxygen demand, there was less oxygen, but now when the oxygen is supplied, we are supplying in the aeration tank, so much amount of oxygen is present, so aerobic microbes are consuming the organic matter and their number is going on increasing. Okay, so allows the vigorous growth of what? Useful aerobic microbes, and it is converted into a form called as flocks. So what is the form called? Flocks. Masses of bacteria associated with fungal filaments to form mesh-like structure. So what is flocks? It is a combination of bacteria, aerobic bacteria and fungi, which is formed in this aeration tank. Why it is formed? Because oxygen is there. So the microbes which are present in the water effluent is starting to multiply, consuming the oxygen, eating up the organic matter which are present in the water. Okay, so like that you can find much amount of flocks are produced. You can see this diagram. This is the diagram depicting how the flocks look like. Okay, so this is the picture of flocks. It's like a mess which is composed of what? Bacteria and fungi. Clear? Now while these flocks are growing, these microbes, they consume a lot amount of what? Organic matter. In the effluent, they are eating up all these organic matter. They are very happy. They are getting oxygen. They are getting food. They are eating up, multiplying in number. Okay. So previously, when there was no oxygen, organic matter was there, microbes were there, but they cannot multiply much because oxygen was less. Only few could multiply. But when oxygen was supplied to them, what happened is that their demand for oxygen became very less. In the beginning, when the organic matter was there, but the oxygen was very less. Okay, and microbes were growing. They only few were getting the oxygen. They can multiply. Others were not able to multiply. But when oxygen was given, what happened? They started multiplying in huge amount, and the demand for oxygen significantly became down. Okay, so this significantly reduces what? The biological oxygen demand. So biochemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand is reduced in the effluent when it is treated. Okay, so in the aeration tank, I repeat, what is happening is that the organic matter is consumed by the aerobic microorganism. Since oxygen is supplied to the tank, in the aeration tank, the need for oxygen is becoming very, very less. Okay, so like that, when most of the organic matters are getting consumed, you can find the microbes are increasing in number, flocks are increasing in number, they are consuming the organic matter, and since oxygen is supplied, the demand for oxygen becomes very less. Okay, so BOD refers to, what is BOD? Is a very important 2-mark question. It is referred to the amount of oxygen that would be consumed if all the matter, organic matter in 1 liter of water were oxidized by bacteria. So what is BOD? BOD refers to biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, so what is BOD? Biochemical oxygen demand. So what is that? It is the amount of oxygen, kitna oxygen chahiye, how much oxygen we need to consume all the organic matter which are present in 1 liter of water. Okay. The greater the BOD of wastewater, more it is polluting. Means the organic content is more, the BOD will also be more. Means the oxygen demand is more because the content is more. Okay. So greater the BOD of wastewater, demand for oxygen is more, the more the polluting the water is. Once the BOD of sewage is reduced, so in aeration what we are doing, we are reducing the BOD, which means organic matter are mostly consumed. Okay. So organic matters are coming down. So when the organic matters are coming down, the waste things are being digested. So automatically the pollution level will also decrease. Okay. So BOD, what is it referring? Amount of oxygen needed to consume all the organic matters in 1 liter of water. The greater the BOD, the more polluting the water is. So when the BOD becomes less, what does it signifies? It signifies that the water has become what? Less polluting. Okay, it has become less polluting because most of the organic matter waste products are being digested by the aerobic microbes. Okay, the effluent is then passed into settling tank. So after the BOD is reduced, the effluent is passed where? Into the settling tank, where the bacteria, what they are doing is that the bacterial flocks, when you are seeing, they are gradually settling down because they have digested, their part is over. Now gradually what happens is that they start, some die and they gradually what happens, they food is less, so slowly they will be settling down. Clear? This sediment is called as what? Activated sludge. So this sediment we call it as what? Activated sludge. So what sediment? It is the leftover of the organic matter which has been digested along with the flocks. That one we call it as what? Activated sludge, which is getting settled down at the aeration tank. Okay. A small part of this activated sludge which is containing that flocks is again pumped into what? The aeration tank, because in the aeration tank again what is going to come? The organic matter, the waste product is going to come, isn't it? So for digesting that waste product, whether the bacteria and fungi, aerobic bacteria and fungi should be there or not? Yes, it has to be there, isn't it? So in that case, some amount of this activated sludge which is containing the flocks is returned back where? It is returned back to the aeration tank, so that the next time the organic matter is getting into the aeration tank, there is already bacteria and fungi present to digest. So this which I am supplying, we call it as inoculums. What do we call them? Inoculums. As a starter we are keeping it so that the digestion is taking place faster, breaking down of organic matter is taking place faster. Okay, it will be present in the sewage, along with that we are also supplying it. Okay, so that is regarding your what is that? Activated sludge. Now this activated sludge, the leftover water, means after settling down, the settled one we call it as what? The activated sludge. The rest of the supernatant we are after disinfecting with chlorine, we are mixing it with water bodies. Now what we can do with this activated sludge? This activated sludge is collected and it is put into another tank called as anaerobic sludge digester. So this activated sludge is kept over here along with mixed with some water. So what is happening? This aerobic bacteria and fungi, right? So this is anaerobic. Anaerobic means what? There is no oxygen. Oxygen is not present. So what will happen? This anaerobic microbes will start digesting. They will multiply. These all aerobic ones will die. The anaerobic microbes will start digesting all these activated sludge. These microbes are digested by whom? This anaerobic microbes. And this anaerobic microbes will be releasing some gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, like these gases will be released. Okay. So these gases which is released can be utilized as what? We can utilize this as a biogas. Okay. Biogas, you know, a fuel which is used in rural areas as well as in our household purpose or for industries, we can use it as a fuel. So in the anaerobic sludge digester, the activated sludge, the leftover is present over here. This is digested by anaerobic bacteria, and what is released? The gas is released, methane, mainly composing what? Methane. The methane is being released, and this methane, when you are seeing, can be used as what? They are used as biogas. Okay. Yes. So the remaining part of the sludge is pumped into what? Large air tanks. What do we call them? Anaerobic sludge digester. Here other kind of bacteria which grow anaerobically digest the bacteria and the fungi in the sludge. Okay. And during this digestion, bacteria is producing a mixture of gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. These gases form what? Biogas, and can be used as an energy source as it is inflammable. You can use it for burning purpose, isn't it? So this is a picture which is depicting the biogas, anaerobic sludge digester, which can be used for making what? Biogas. Okay. So that is regarding your secondary treatment. So in this diagram you see the secondary treatment, how it is. So in the primary treatment I told you filtration, thereafter this is filtration, thereafter it has been transferred to sedimentation tank. The bottom one we call it as what? The primary sludge. The effluent is pumped in for the secondary treatment. Now the effluent water along with the microbes or organic matter and all has reached here. This is aeration tank. So air is pumped and it is mechanically agitated, very nicely it is rotating. So what is happening? Nice mixture of oxygen is being given. There the bacteria and fungi flock starts multiplying in number, organic matter are consumed by them, oxygen demand is becoming very less. ऑक्सीजन का डिमांड नहीं रहता है, डिमांड बहुत कम हो जाता है क्योंकि हम लोग ऑक्सीजन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. So oxygen demand will become very less. When oxygen demand is becoming less, which means bacteria are multiplying, consuming the organic matter are now digested. So most of the organic matters are digested and the water has become very less polluting. Now again they are passed on to the another aeration tank so that the bacterial flocks are getting settled down. Okay. So the bacterial flocks are settled down. The leftover part, the effluent is passed through a disinfectant like chlorine is added and then it is discharged into the water bodies. The thing which is getting settled down, the flocks is being kept, some amount of flocks are taken and it is given to this aeration tank as inoculum. The rest of the activated sludge is what they are doing, they are pumping it into another tank. Name of the tank is what? Anaerobic sludge digester. Okay, where the sludge is digested, activated sludge is digested and what is produced? Gas is produced, biogas is produced which can be used as a fuel. Hope this part is clear. So what is what we have discussed? We have discussed treatment of sewage. Okay, what are the two different methods of treatment? One is physical method and another one is one is the first method when you are seeing in that primary treatment method or physical treatment we call it as. Second one is the secondary treatment or we also call it as what? Biological treatment. Okay, yes. So in the primary treatment only primary physical processes are involved. In secondary treatment we are using what? Biological substances like microbes. Okay, hope it is clear. Next we are moving on to the next one, we call it as what? Biogas plant. Okay, so see, this is a picture depicting what? The biogas plant. Okay, so this biogas, what is biogas? Everyone knows what is biogas. Biogas is a mixture of gases. Predominantly it contains what? It contains methane. And who is producing this? It is produced by microbes. Okay, so these microbes, as anaerobic sludge digester we discussed, microbes are anaerobic bacteria, anaerobic microbes are digesting the waste and they are releasing a gas which predominantly contains what? Methane and can be used as a fuel. This one we call it as what? We call it as biogas. These bacteria are collectively called as what? Methanogens, because methane is the predominant thing, isn't it? So that's why we give the name methanogens. One such bacterium is methanobacterium. Methanobacterium is one bacterium, anaerobic bacterium, which is involved in the production of what? Biogas. These bacteria are also found in anaerobic sludge digesters, yes, during sewage treatment, or we can collect the cow dung and then we can go for what? This process. These bacteria are present in the anaerobic sludge during treatment. Otherwise you can also find these bacteria are present in the rumen. Rumen, you know, in the part of the stomach of cattle, they contain this bacteria and this bacteria is present in the cow dung. We need not add it, already it is present, and this cow dung when collected can be used in the production of what? Biogas. Okay, in rumen this bacteria helps to break down the cellulose and it is playing a major role in providing nutrition to the cattle. The excreta of the cattle, commonly called gobar, is rich in these bacteria. So this bacteria can be useful for making what? Biogas. Okay. So the biogas plant, it consists of a concrete tank in which bio-waste is, the dung, okay, cow dung are collected. Even nowadays in Delhi you can find the human dung is also collected, human excreta is also collected and be used for making what? Biogas. Okay. So cow dungs in rural areas, cow dungs are being collected to many families. When you think 2-3 houses together, they used to construct one biogas plant, and can be the gas which is released from that, they are using it as a fuel for cooking. Okay. Or from industries also nowadays they are using, even in schools also now they are installing that biogas. From there what gas they are getting can be used for chemistry laboratory, biology laboratory, where and all there is burning needed, as a fuel they can use it. Okay. So waste is being used in a productive way. So it contains a floating cover, yeah. So when the is placed over the slurry, which keeps on rising. So a floating cover, what is the advantage is that whenever the gas production is okay, to much extent you can find they keep on rising and the gas is released, okay, produced in the tank is released out. Okay. So that is floating cover is also present. It has an outlet which is also connected to a pipe to supply biogas to the nearby houses. The leftover slurry can be removed through another outlet, and it can be used as what? We can use it as a fertilizer, or we can call it as what? The manure. I will explain, listen. So this is the cow dung or the slurry which is present. Okay, here the inlet. So slurry of cattle dung, water and all is being kept over here. This one we call it as what? The mixing tank. So here all the things are getting mixed up. So this is the ground level. Inside that you can find this is the top part. Okay. So what is happening is that here it is mixed. The mixture is coming and it is entering into a dome shaped tank, isn't it? So here you can find this is the place where the anaerobic bacteria are highly present. In the dung itself it is present. So what they are doing is that this is anaerobic condition, there is no air. So this anaerobic bacteria digest the cow dung and they will be releasing the gas, and they are made up of floating cover. Okay, so they are made up of what? The floating cover. So what is the function of this floating cover? Whenever the gas is getting filled up, much amount is produced, the cover will slowly rise up. Okay, so the gas valve will may open, and you can, means whenever you are opening the gas valve, the outflow of biogas will be taking place. Okay, so this is the slab cover you can find when it is rising up, which means the gas is ready. Now if you open the gas valve, what is happening? The gases can be collected and it can be used for various purpose. Now after this digestion, who is digesting? Methanogens, isn't it? So the bacteria are digesting these cow dung and they are releasing the gas. The gas is being collected and used for household purpose. The leftover one, when you are seeing, is being pumped. This floating cover is also having a property to pump the slurry into an outflow tank. Okay, so here you can find this is the outflow tank in which the slurry, the waste part, are being pushed up. Okay, so here it is getting collected. So this one we can use it periodically. For what we are using it? We are using it as a manure. It is properly treated and it is used as what? We can use it as a manure. So this is how what is working, biogas is working. So biogas thus produced is used for cooking and lighting purpose in villages. The technology of biogas production was developed in India mainly due to the effort of whom? Indian Agricultural Research Institute and Khadi and Village Industries Commission played a joint role in developing this biogas. Okay, so that's all regarding biogas. Hope it is clear. In this you have to learn what is slurry, what is sludge. Okay, so what are the major composition of the biogas? When you are seeing, it is containing what and all? It is containing methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia will be present. Then you should know what are methanobacterium, what are methanogens, what is biogas. Okay, so these are regarding your biogas. Hope it is clear. Thank you.